Hey guys, welcome back to Just Simply Sisters. Today's video is going to be a what I eat in a week video in quarantine as a vegan. So basically I'm going to share with you all the meals I ate for 7 days, one specific week. And I just want to put a disclaimer out there that I'm not a registered dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist, so I'm not suggesting you need to eat these certain foods or eat this certain number of times a day. Not suggesting any of those things to you. It's more for entertainment purposes to give you some ideas of what you can eat if you're looking to be more plant-based or vegan. I just want to also share that I try to eat intuitively, so that involves me eating when I'm hungry and stopping when I'm full. I don't have a certain number of meals a day, or I don't restrict how many calories I eat a day or anything like that. You'll notice some days I eat like 4 or 5 meals that are smaller a day to larger meals. I just do what's best for me. So I hope you guys enjoy these types of videos. It's been a while since we've done a what I eat in a day. So if you like it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe and leave a comment down below of what you ate today or maybe a plant-based meal you ate this week. And let's get into the video. So I actually started this week off on Tuesday. So first thing in the morning, I always take my B12 supplement, and I just started off with one of my typical smoothies I would make. Some frozen banana, frozen spinach, a big tablespoon of peanut butter to get in some healthy fats in there, and one of my favorite Orgain chocolate protein powder, 1 scoop, and some non-dairy milk. I used almond milk, and I blended it, and I had that for breakfast. For a late lunch, I had a tofu scramble. So in that, I just sauteed some peppers and mushrooms in a pan and waited till they were soft. I crumbled the extra firm tofu in, added some turmeric, garlic powder, and sun-dried tomatoes, a little bit of water, and just let that saute for about 5 to 7 minutes. And I topped it with some salsa and avocado. It's one of my favorite post-workout meals. And for dinner, I just actually had some pitas from a place called Prairie Donair. And I just got them with hummus, falafel, lots of veggies, pickles, really, really good. And filling, I had 2 of those actually. And for dessert, just had some chopped pineapples, strawberries, and a peanut butter ball. You can find the recipe for those on our blog. And on Wednesday, I started with just 3 small kiwis before I did my workout, just to have a little bit of carbs before I did any exercise. And after that, I had another smoothie, a little bit of a thicker one with frozen banana, frozen raspberries, non-dairy milk, and this Garden of Life vanilla protein. I'm really liking this one as well. And that's all I put in that one. Blended it up, and it was much thicker for a smoothie bowl. So I spread that in the bowl, and I edited it all fancy. So I added some hemp seeds, strawberries, pineapple, and some roasted almond butter from Costco. It is the best almond butter ever. Definitely recommend. And this was the final product. You're going to see lots of smoothie bowls, but this was definitely a favorite for the week. I was still hungry later in the afternoon, so I had some avocado toast with cherry tomatoes, hemp seeds, salt and pepper, and a little bit of lemon juice. And for dinner, I tried making sweet potato gnocchi by roasting 3 sweet potatoes in the oven and then using the insides of the sweet potato and adding flour to it until it basically created a dough. It took quite a bit of time and it was really sticky, but then eventually I kind of got it to the right dough consistency, you would say. I sliced it into 4 and then rolled that each quarter, I guess, into like a long log, and then cut them into little gnocchi pieces and used the fork to shape them. This took quite a long time to do. I wouldn't suggest doing this like every week or even every month, but it tasted really good even though the gnocchi looks a little funky. The shapes didn't turn out that well, but it tasted really good like normal gnocchi you would buy from the store. And then we also added some homemade pesto, and my sister and I shared those 2 bowls together. And we also had just a side salad with an oil and vinegar vinaigrette with spring mix. And for dessert, I just had another one of those peanut butter balls. On Thursday, I decided to make some easy banana oat pancakes. So in a blender, I added 1 medium ripe banana, 1¼ cup of quick oats or rolled oats would work as well. I added a dash of cinnamon, like 1 teaspoon of cinnamon would be good, and ½ teaspoon of vanilla extract. Didn't measure it there, but that's roughly. And a pinch of salt, and then around ½ to 3/4 cup of liquid. It depends kind of on how big your banana is and stuff. So start with ½ cup and then do 3/4 cup. That should what the consistency should be of the batter. And I added it to a greased pan, poured it in, and kind of spread it out with a spoon. It's a little bit thicker, so just use a spoon if you have to. And once they bubbled on the sides and they started to get golden on the bottoms, I flipped them around three minutes aside to cook, and then you are done. These are not your typical like fluffy and light pancakes. They're a little bit denser, but they're a much healthier option. So I had 4 of those, topped them with some sliced strawberries and some almond butter again, because like I'm obsessed with it. You'll see that throughout this video. And maple syrup, of course, you have to have that on pancakes. And then I added some hemp seeds at the end as well. I posted the official recipe on our Instagram, so if you want to check that out, you can look there as well, but I'll put it in the description box below. Highly recommend making these for a quick, easy pancake recipe. And in the afternoon, we went to a coffee shop called Station Coffee, and I got a iced matcha with oat milk. It was very good. For dinner, I just kind of made a bowl with a bunch of random things. I roasted some carrots, peppers, and mushrooms in the oven, and I sauteed some of these Smart Tenders chicken pieces. I use them all the time, definitely recommend them. I just made a mayo sauce with vegan mayo, lemon juice, dill, and garlic powder, and some salt and pepper, and left that on the side while I was making everything else. I added some quinoa to the bowl, some butter lettuce, sliced cherry tomatoes, the chicken pieces, and the roasted veggies, and then just added the mayo on top. And it was a perfect balanced meal. And I kind of make these a lot. Like, I'll just add random things that I have left in the pantry, especially during quarantine. It's good to use up everything that you have so you don't have to go to the store. And I topped it with more hemp seeds. I'm kind of obsessed with hemp seeds too, and I really enjoyed this dinner. Definitely recommend you make something like this as well. I was still a little bit hungry after that bowl, so I had a bowl of just some extra quinoa, the veggies, and the sauce. For dessert, I had a small bowl of the Simply Vanilla Cashew Vanilla ice cream. So good. And I just crumbled one of the peanut butter balls on top that acted kind of like cookie dough. And I was really hungry this day, so then later in the evening, I just had 2 kiwis as well. On Friday, I made another smoothie bowl, I think, yes. And this one had some frozen banana, frozen blueberries this time. I used the wild blueberries from Superstore, and they are the best. Definitely buy those ones. Half an avocado I added in there. I add this to my smoothies a lot. Some frozen spinach. Again, this is very repetitive, but it's what I like, so that's what I'm going to show you that I ate. And I added more of that Garden of Life vanilla protein, some non-dairy milk as well, and blended it up. And this one turned out quite thick as well. As you can see here, I like them thicker when I make smoothie bowls because it's just more satisfying that way, I think. And on top, I added some diced pineapple and some almond butter, again, because that's all I ate this week because I was obsessed with it. And I added some more hemp seeds on top, but you could do flax seeds, chia seeds, really whatever you have on hand. It's just for extra protein and omegas as well. And that was my breakfast. For lunch, I made this Amy's organic soup just in the microwave. They have really good, healthy, clean ingredients. So I definitely recommend those. You can find them at most grocery stores, and that was just a lentil and veggie one, I believe. And then I had a peanut butter ball as a snack. For dinner this day, I decided to make some tacos. So I just sliced up 1 medium onion and a bell pepper to saute. And then I drained some black beans, and to a pan, I decided to make like a little crumble with leftover quinoa I had. So I added it to a pan with some olive oil on medium heat. I crumbled a Very Good Butcher's smoky sausage and just kind of crumbled it in there to kind of make like a meat crumble for the tacos. And then in a separate pan, I added the peppers and onion to saute as well. And I just kept checking them and tossing them like every few minutes or so just to make sure they don't burn. To the quinoa mix, I added some cumin, also some garlic powder. You could add like chili flakes or chili powder or other smoky spices like paprika, but I didn't have those. And then I added the whole can of black beans in there and just let it cook for about 5 minutes until the quinoa started to get a bit crispy. And then I just kept checking on the veggies as well and just cooked them until the peppers are a little bit soft. For the tacos, I also made just a quick mashed avocado. I used one whole avocado, just mashed in a bowl, and then used some lemon juice, salt, and pepper, and that was it. You could use store-bought guacamole as well, or you could make it more authentic with like tomatoes and red onion, whatever your choice. And I just left this in the fridge until everything else was ready. For tortillas, I used these organic tortillas I found from Save On Foods. I didn't like the multigrain ones as much, but I like their like white tortillas better. So I had two of them. I added the mashed avocado on the bottom, that quinoa bean sausage mix into there. Then the caramelized peppers and onions. I've also added mushrooms in them, and that's really good as well, but any veggies would work. And some chopped butter lettuce. You could use romaine, really whatever you have, spinach. And then I added some salsa on top. I just used like a very generic brand of salsa. It's pretty cheap, just a mild one, but any salsa of your choice. And then I added a little of chipotle sauce. It's really good. My fiance got me hooked on it, and I add it like onto all of the taco things we make now. But yeah, these tacos, I usually make something similar in burrito bowls like at least once a week. For dessert, I just had one of these silk individual like acai yogurts. I've had it in their large container and I really love their almond yogurt, so I just added that to a bowl with some of the President's Choice muesli. I've used this for a long time and it's pretty good as well. And some chopped strawberries on there, and that was my simple and quick dessert. On Saturday, I started the morning with some fruit again, some chopped pineapple, green grapes, and kiwi. We bought a lot of fruit from Costco that week, so it was really, really good. Highly recommend going to Costco for fruit. I find it's like 10 times better. For post-workout lunch, I had the leftovers from dinner the night before, so I made it as a bowl using the quinoa mix on the bottom, the veggies, lettuce on the side, half an avocado, the salsa on there, and then more chipotle sauce on top. And yeah, it just shows how versatile it can be. You can have it as a bowl for tacos, really in anything. You could like make it a burrito or in a wrap, anything you really want. And this was a very filling lunch. For dinner, I made some buffalo cauliflower wraps. So for the cauliflower, I just rinsed a large head of cauliflower and then chopped it into individual small florets, and that's how much I ended up with by the end. For the batter to coat the cauliflower, I did 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour. I added, I think, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, as much smoked paprika as I had left over, but I would definitely add a full teaspoon if you did have it. 1 teaspoon of cumin, a little bit of seasoning salt, and some pepper as well. And that's all I did for spices. I just whisked it all together until it was combined. For the liquid ingredients, I used half a cup of non-dairy milk, just almond milk here, unsweetened, and then half a cup of water, so 1 cup of liquid in total. Whisked it all together until it became a uniform batter, just like this. And I kind of have never done this before, but in the bowl, I added most of the cauliflower in to coat it. And then on a separate sheet, as you can see on the side, I added like a baking tray on top, so all the excess batter dripped to the bottom. And I found this really helped when they were cooking, since there wasn't like all this batter sticking to the pan when it was cooking. I would definitely recommend doing this. So I coated all of the cauliflower, added it to a large baking sheet coated with a silicone baking mat, and baked that in the oven at 425 for about 25 minutes, flipping them halfway through. While those were cooking, I made the buffalo sauce, so I used half a cup of buffalo sauce, just like the red hot sauce, and then 2 tablespoons of vegan butter or margarine. I placed this in the microwave for about 30 seconds until the butter had melted through and left it to the side. And then I also made just a quick homemade ranch. I used 3 large tablespoons of vegan mayo, but if you wanted a larger portion of this for more people, you could double the recipe. I added a teaspoon of dried dill, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, some salt, and pepper. I added the juice of 1 whole lemon in there, and then also just like a tablespoon or 2 of water to thin it out a bit, and I just whisked it with the fork until it was all combined. But you could use like a homemade vegan ranch that has more herbs in it, or you could buy a store-bought one. There's lots of vegan ones out there now at the store, and I just left that in the fridge. After the cauliflower cooked for 25 minutes, I took it out and coated it right in the pan with the buffalo sauce and just put it back in the oven for another 25 minutes to cook it all the way through, flipping them again halfway as well. And right near the end of cooking the cauliflower, I added the McCain's just spicy 9-minute fries just on the side quickly. Once everything was done, I used just a President's Choice white tortilla, added butter lettuce, like 1 cup of the cauliflower, some sliced cucumbers, which went really well with this, and then drizzled the vegan ranch on top. And this was so good. Highly recommend. I think any family would really enjoy this, like non-vegans as well. My fiance is sometimes a hard one to crack sometimes with vegan food, but he really enjoyed this, especially if you like spicy food and buffalo sauce. The full recipe for this is actually on our blog right now, and I posted it on our Instagram as well. So for dinner, I just had the one wrap and then some of the fries on the side with some ketchup that I didn't show there. For dessert, I had about maybe like half a cup of this oat peanut butter and raspberry ice cream, and it is so good. Oh my gosh, the peanut butter swirls and the raspberry in it. This is like one of the best vegan ice creams I've had, so I would highly recommend. I found it at Safeway in Medicine Hat if you're looking for it. On Sunday, I decided to make some homemade granola, which is now posted on our Instagram. So to a large bowl, I just added a third a cup of almond butter. Any smooth nut butter would work. Half a cup of maple syrup or any other liquid sweetener. I added a generous amount of salt, maybe a quarter teaspoon, and then also 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. You could also add cinnamon to this or really any kind of mix-in that you would like. I stirred it all together until it was well combined, and I added 1 cup's worth of rolled oats and then 1 cup worth of quick oats that are a little bit smaller for oatmeal, and that's all I had at home. So I would recommend using the rolled oats. It works a little bit better for granola, but any oats you have at home would work. And I just combined it all until it was like a thick kind of consistency like this, and I spread it out onto a large baking sheet. Make sure you line it with parchment or a silicone baking mat like I did here. Flattened it all out and baked it in the oven at 350 for 25 minutes or so. Check it at about the 18 to 20-minute mark and just stir it through to make sure it's not burning. And it should be a little golden brown and hardened like this. And once you take it out of the oven, it's going to harden a lot more and become crispier like granola. And this recipe, as I said, is on our Instagram, and it's one of my favorite. I've already made another batch. So with this granola, I decided to make another smoothie bowl. So I added some frozen banana, frozen pineapple, some spinach, and non-dairy milk, and then the Garden of Life protein powder again, and it made this beautiful green color. It turned out so beautiful. Spread it out, added some kiwi, and then the homemade granola. And I am obsessed with this granola right now. I made another batch this past week here, and I go through it so quickly. It's perfect for smoothie bowls. For lunch, I had some pesto that I had made, and then I just added some vegan chicken and some tomatoes and cooked it in a pan. It kind of made the pan a little charred a little bit. Ignore that. I added some sliced cucumbers as well. And that's what I had for lunch. It was really good. I love vegan pesto, so if you like that, I would definitely recommend making a sandwich with it. It was a good combination for sure. For dinner, my mom made some vegan stew with some vegan chicken, potatoes, carrots, vegetable stock. I could find the recipe for you guys if you'd like. And we made these buns as well. You can get from Sobeys that are vegan, and I had it with a side salad. On Monday, the last day here, I had another silk yogurt, just the vanilla one, really good. I added that to my cute little coconut bowl with some strawberries, kiwi, the granola I made the day before, and some hemp seeds. Lots of this is a little bit repetitive. I apologize for that, but it's what I had at home. But yeah, I've really been enjoying homemade granola and yogurt recently. For dinner, I made a quick stir fry with bok choy, carrots, peppers, and firm tofu. So I just sauteed the three here in the pan with some sesame oil and covered it just to steam the carrots a little bit. While that was cooking, I made a quick peanut sauce with just some smooth peanut butter, about 3 tablespoons, with garlic powder, some hoisin sauce. This is the one I use. And I had to add about 3 tablespoons or even more of water, maybe a third a cup in total. You want it to be a little bit runny, like how I have it here. And then I just set that aside until it was ready to serve. Once the other veggies had cooked for a while, I added the bok choy in because it doesn't take as long. And as you can see here, it started to brown a little bit, and I let that cook, I'd say probably about 10 minutes in total. And I had cooked some brown rice on the side, had the veggie tofu mix, and used my fancy little squirt bottle thing to add the peanut sauce on top. And it was super good, really hearty, and a healthy meal. Stir fries are also an excellent option as well. And for dessert, I just had another one of those peanut butter balls. And thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope you enjoyed this What I Eat in a Week, and we'll see you in our next video.